Okay, I'll call Z2409, the Barnes case. This is a request for variation to reduce the rear yard setback for a new pool shed from 3 feet to approximately 2 feet, replacing the previous pool shed in the same location. It's a Wayne Township case. Property is about 0.65 acres, serviced by well and septic. And the matter was published in the Daily Herald on February 27, 2024. I have two exhibits. The first is a survey, the second is a site plan. And on the site plan, the shed and wood deck are outlined in red. I have two people with me today. Would you have each been sworn in?
Yes.
Would you tell us your name and spell your name and give us your address?
My name is Ogunio Barnes. I'm the owner of the home. Bogumila, Barnes, BARNES. The address is 28 W for Berlin.
Timberlane? Okay. And
My name is Anna Barnes, ANNA, BARNES.
okay,
I'm here mostly for language support.
pardon me? Oh, for language support?
Yes.
Okay. Well, would you like me to sort of lead with some questions?
If you have any,
Do you have a presentation to make, or can I ask questions? What's the best way to proceed?
if you have any questions,
Okay, well, I see, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. You've had, how long have you had the pool at the house?
the pool has been there before
And how long have you been there?
We moved in 2001.
2001,
2021.
2020, so that's
Yes.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, you have an existing shed, right?
Yes.
And what is the floor made out of?
So the shed that we have, it's not like, it's, the original shed that was there, we already demolished it because it was getting rotten and we just wanted to remove it.
Okay.
It never had an actual flooring per se, it was just gravel because it only held the utilities for the pool.
Okay,
So like pumps, stuff like that, it doesn't have an heating system, flooring, and a heating system.
what kind of a shed are you gonna build?
The very exact same,
Frame or
just a frame with the doors and the little.
like a wood shed?
For storage, yes.
And what's the floor going to be?
Same.
Most likely no flooring as well.
So gravel floor?
Yes. Mhm.
All right, I am confused because why would you go through this process rather than just move the corner of the shed a foot?
Because the frame of the shed is already built. And we kind of want to keep it the size it is because we want to add a little bit of a storage on top of it. Just for like, pillows for the seats and stuff like that.
Do you know how your neighbors feel about this?
We haven't heard any complaints.
Okay. We must invite them to your pool then. All right, so I see that the shed is on a little bit of an angle so that it is not the whole shed that intrudes into this setback line, right? Just the corner? Is that right?
I feel like, I mean,
Which one is one?
I thought about what is what corner?
Nie, no jeden korner tego pan się pyta, jest za blisko, tak?
Pyta się, czy jest pod kątem jeszcze zrobione. To
Co
co
znaczy
chyba?
pod kątem?
Nie zrobimy prosty.
Nie, wszystko prosto.
Okay. Apparently everything is still straight and everything is okay. It's just the distance that is an issue.
The setback,
Yes.
but it's not the entire, how long is the shed?
Jak długo jest?
Jaki długi? No nie wiem, on tam chyba miał namiary. I can.
Let's just look at.
Only the one corner is too close. This is the question.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's just the corner.
A little bit different, yeah. Only the one corner is too close. It's like 2 feet to the border should be a tree, I think.
Right.
Mhm. Because, no,
So there are some technical rules here that we have to abide by. And I need to understand the reason that you can't just move it a foot. If it's just a matter of, well, I don't want to ask that question because I don't want you to say yes. Is there any landscaping or, well, wait, I know something here.
the moving for us is a more, the job I can say, because it's only already, cement for in the ground with this corner. If we decide to move the 1 feet back, it's mean we need to change everything what is there, you know?
And the wood, and the wood deck is on the same angle as the shed, right?
Yeah,
So that your reason for putting the shed where it is, not only because of the cement footings, but it's to conform to the existing deck. Right? So that they're on the same angle?
yes. We have those, we have other, bricks.
Yeah.
We have the bricks too, you know, and, the reason for make a bigger anyway, you know, for us is because the old one shack was only for the stuff to the, like we said, like pump and this kind of electric system. But we don't have any place for all the, you know, another filters what we have and the vacuums and all the stuff like this. The previous owner keep the stuff in the garage. What is hard for us to transport those things probably every day or a couple times a week.
Okay, I think I figured this out. So we'll do a finding here that says the shed conforms to the same angle as the wood deck. And the property is not perfectly square in the back. So that there is a unique circumstance, practical difficulty that requires this 1 foot variation, but only for a portion of the shed. I wish I knew how long the shed was. You don't know that exactly? Is it like 10 feet?
This one before,
Well, the one you're building,
you know,
I was trying to see, but.
it doesn't say.
I think we have those numbers and
Online?
Mhm.
Well, can you estimate? Is it, is it as wide, is it as long as this room is wide?
No, if
No,
anything, it would be
I
like
think-
from this wall to the pillar, maybe.
Okay, so that's about 9 or 10 feet approximately. We'll just put that little approximation in our findings of fact. So like something like, although the shed is approximately 9 or 10 feet long, only approximately 2 feet will encroach. I don't know, I'm making this up. Okay, I got it. So do you understand that? I don't want, that's okay. I've already made up my mind, so don't confuse me with the facts. Do you understand the process from here?
So our understanding is that right now we're, still have to clear out the, stormwater, issues. And then we can, hopefully get the.
Yeah, so my part is I make a recommendation about your request.
Mhm.
And you should have information about that within the next couple of weeks. You can get that by email. You can stay in touch with our staff to find out what's going on. And then my recommendation goes to the County Development Committee and then finally the full county board. And that will probably occur by middle of April.
April 16th. Yeah, probably April, by end of April.
And so this won't be decided until the end of April. Okay, that's okay. It'll be in time for swimming season.
Yes.
All right, do you have anything else?
It's not a moment, some problem.
Okay, so, if you, on the map that you have in front of you, with the picture, marked the left-hand side. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
so my mom is asking if it's supposed to be 10 feet or 3 feet away from the
Because
water.
in the beginning I heard.
It's supposed to be 3 feet.
Okay,
Okay.
and the question, I'm not sure, so I should ask the zoning. I know, she said, no, ask mom because you're, but I.
If this is just a question, may I suggest we go off the record and you can resolve, I don't want to confuse the record with any extraneous
Yes.
information.
Of course.
I'm calling 24010, the Chicago title, certain land trust number. It's a conditional use for principal recreational use in the R2 zoning district to allow a 2,112 square foot timber frame barn with horse stables to be built for the owner's horses. Properties in Winfield Township, R2 zoning, serviced by well and septic, and the property is 4.8 acres. Matter was published in the Daily Herald, February 27, 2024. I have our customary survey as Exhibit 1, site plan as Exhibit 2, showing the proposed location of the barn. I have 3 other exhibits. 2 appear to be aerials. I'll take those as group exhibit 3. And then I'm not sure I want to take, I mean, it's nice to see what a barn looks like, but unless this is exactly the barn you're gonna build, precisely 100%, I don't want to take this as an exhibit. It is not important to me what the barn, I mean, I don't want to approve something that's a dilapidated mess, but I don't really care if it's, the shape of the roof or whatever. So my suggestion is that we eliminate this exhibit if that's okay.
Okay.
All right, now, would you all raise your hands and be sworn in because you weren't sworn in previously?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good. What's your name? What's your name, sir? Who's presenting?
I am. My name is Eric Hesinger. I'm the property owner.
Spell your last name.
Hezinger.
And how long have you lived at the property?
I don't live at that property. I live about 5 minutes away.
Okay, and you've acquired these, I guess, 3 parcels, which are one zoning lot?
Yes,
Who lives at the property?
nobody has a vacant parcel.
So you're building a horse barn for whose horses?
For my horses.
And you live 5 minutes away, so where do you ride your horses on this 5 acre
So
site?
we keep our horses at the Lucia Farm, which is about 1,000 feet away.
Okay, how many horses will you have?
4.
And I presume that you showed me these aerials to indicate that there are other barns in this area because there's a lot of people with horses, is that right? Okay, I think this is fairly non-controversial. The dimension of the barn is 35, well, no. Tell me the dimensions of this barn.
I believe it was
Oh, 54 by
yeah,
48.
there you go.
Okay. Um. You don't operate any business from this property, I trust?
No,
And you're not gonna, board horses for other people?
no,
You don't groom horses for other people?
no,
So there's no business related to the existence of, or the use of this barn?
that's correct.
Okay, I got it. Now, why are you folks here?
We got a letter.
Oh,
We are.
Joined to the property.
Right.
We have,
okay, do you want to make any statements in this case?
No.
no, we.
Just here to find out what's going on?
Well.
That's
we were
basically
talking
it.
with them.
We wanted to know, you know, that's gonna somehow affect us, you know, to, Warrenville Township,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And then we have a Mr. Gary Davidson, on
Yes.
Zoom. Sir, do you want to make any comments in this case? Mr. Davidson?
Not sure if you.
A lot of rain runoff into my property from there. And I would just,
Wait a second. Mr., who's speaking right now? Who started to speak there? Mr. Davidson, we're having trouble, hearing you because you're freezing up.
yeah, I was having the same problem with your feed.
Okay, do you want to make any statements about this case? All right, here,
Runoff.
let's go to Mr. Alex Buholzer. You want to make any statements, sir?
Yeah, I just had one question about the property in question. Are you
Hold
planning
on.
on building a house
Oh,
there?
whoa, stop. Hold on.
Yep.
You gotta identify yourself, spell your last name and give us your address.
Oh, no problem. Alex Buholzer, B as in boy, Buholzer. My address is 3S410 Herrick Road, Warrenville.
How far are you from this property?
We are south 200 or 300 feet.
Okay,
We're the third property down technically.
and your question is whether there is an intention to build a residence?
Correct.
Do you have a current plan?
Yeah, so just, I didn't want to speak on a turn, but our full plan has been, we wanted to build a house, a barn, and live on the same property with our horses. We've run into some design snags on the house. It's taken a while. And our intention has shifted to say, let's get our barn built, let's get our pasture, so that way we've got 2 years worth of grass growing in there. It's not turning into a muddy mess. And yeah, we're absolutely planning on building a home and relocating to that property.
All right. and then, Mr. Davidson, can I go back to you to see if you're able to, oh, I see you're moving, so maybe we can hear you.
Okay,
Any questions or statements or? All right, here's what, who's this other person in the,
Jamie Buholzer.
oh, that's the.
Last
wife
name
of
is
Alex.
Reynolds.
Okay, well, you weren't sworn in, so I presume we don't need to take any statements from you, right?
I have a few questions if that's possible.
Are you gonna offer any information?
I have no information to offer, I just have questions.
Then ask your questions, you don't have to be sworn in.
Okay, how many horses are you gonna have on the property?
So I own 4 horses right now at Galusha Farm. That's what we plan on bringing over.
And then you said you live close by, so you'll have somebody there morning and night? Or yourself or a family member there morning and night taking care of them? Sorry, my video is freezing now.
All right, we were off the record for a couple of minutes in the Chicago Title TR 800-239-101 case. During the time that we were off the record, there was no substantive information discussed about this case. Our problem was some sort of a technical snafu. We're now back on the record and we have some questions apparently from a neighbor. I think we've resolved the zoning issues in this case, but you have some curiosities as to what the future plans of your neighbor are.
Well, I don't have a problem with the barn being there. I just want to know that the horses are going to be maintained before the house is there. Having horses off-site without an individual on-site to maintain them can be problematic.
Yeah, that's not our plan. So our plan is to build the barn, allow the pastures to mature for the next year or so, and until we start building our home.
So you won't bring any horses on site until there's a human actually living on the property?
We absolutely ride on that site all the time. I mean, if like along Galusha, you'll see, if you see riders more times than not, it's me or my wife, my daughter, or, my sons, those kinds of things. So we ride around the area all the time. We definitely ride on the property all the time. I love the idea of being able to to bring them over there, groom them, get them comfortable with it. I also don't want to run the risk of getting them into, a situation with a Cushing's disease, something where they go from having fescue grass to having ryegrass, right? Where all of a sudden it's a shock to the system. So yeah, we're absolutely planning on bringing them over often, but we're not bringing them over there to board them until we live on that property.
Okay, that was my main concern.
And then Mr. Davidson, are we able to communicate with you now?
You can't hear me. Now you're frozen.
Mr. Davidson, I'm gonna suspend this hearing, recess this hearing, dismiss all of the people that are present. If you have something that is important for me to understand about this case, either support or objection, You can phone in for the next 30 minutes and we'll take your information, but I've tried several times to communicate with you and I'm not able to do so. So I'm not gonna close the hearing, I'm gonna recess the hearing. I'll recall it after my last case. And if by that time you can call in and ask your questions, I'll take your information.
What phone number I,
Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah,
So the phone number, if you can hear me, is 630-514-0624.
and how do I know when to call in?
well, you can call in, well, we have to put you on hold, you gotta call in within the next 20 minutes. Why don't you, what do you have, questions or statements or what? Why don't we have him call in right now? Can you call in right now?
Yes.
I'm not a horse guy. My daughter certainly is. I think they are one of the most fascinating animals. I've seen, bits and pieces of information over the years, and I just think they're extraordinary. Of course, all animals. The more you know about them, the more.
Good for every animal.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're an animal family. And my,
great.
my daughter's really into them.
Human beings, on the other hand.
Are you the family that has the Mustang? I see the Mustang a lot on
No,
Galusha.
I don't want any stray conversation on the record, please. All right, now, what do we have? Mr. Davidson, do we have you on speakerphone?
I think so.
Great, fire away. What do you have, questions or comments or what?
I'm concerned about, I live at 320 Herd Road. And I have some concern about the rain runoff coming from this property into my property. I would not like to see it increase, drain off.
Well, you have to take that up with the stormwater department. The stormwater department has been notified about this case and they have no comments. But they do say that additional information may be required at the time of the permit application. That is informational to this petitioner and to you as well, but it is not significant to me for my consideration. Because if the stormwater department says it's not approved, that comes at a later time. So you should communicate with the stormwater department. Okay? Thanks very much. Well, now we are ready to close the hearing, so you guys are off. Thanks. We'll get a decision in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna call zoning petition 24013, the CTLTC number 800-239-1179. That's presumably the land trust identification. This is a variation to reduce the interior setback of an existing fence from 3 feet to approximately 0 feet for an existing fence post on the property line. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on February 27, 2024. And the property is about 0.19 acres in Downers Grove Township. I have, I guess, survey, which is exhibit 1, a site plan, which is exhibit 2. I got a letter from the petitioner. which I guess I'll take as exhibit 3. I don't know why I have a letter. And then 3 photographs, which are group exhibit 4 depicting the house and the fence. And then a letter from a neighbor. Just in support, that neighbor's name is Sabas. And may I ask whether you two were sworn in?
Yes, we were earlier.
Can you state and spell your name, and I presume your address is the property address, is that right?
Yes, Correct.
What, so it's 146 Meadow Court in Willowbrook?
yes.
Yes,
All right, spell your last name.
P-A-Z. Paz.
Right, go right ahead and tell me what's going on.
Good afternoon. We had submitted this zoning application 24-00013 for the property located at 146 Meadow Court in Willowbrook. We are, and just for clarification earlier, I believe you said 3 feet, but I believe it's 3 inches. So the post is adjoining, our fence post adjoins the fence post to the neighbor to the east of us, which is located at 136 Meadow Court. In addition, we discussing it with him, he was fine with it because he has a very small breed dog, as well as our anticipation of adopting a very small breed dog. My sister actually already has the dog in her possession, but we were waiting for this hearing to ensure its safety. Only because we've seen wildlife. We're along the expressway here along I-55, just south of it. And we've seen wildlife, large coyotes and raccoons that have wandered into the yard, which is why we installed the fence. It does not bring any, it creates a hardship for us because we don't want, obviously, the safety of the animal. But B, also under section 37-1411.3, it does not, it's not injurious to any of the neighbors. It's not detrimental to their welfare. And it's not in conflict with the county's comprehensive plan of development.
Okay, how long have you lived at this property?
Sir, we purchased the property last year, so approximately 11 months or so.
And did you build this fence?
The fence was installed by myself, my wife, and a neighbor, yes.
So what is it, some kind of a composite material, or is that a wood fence that's painted, or? what kind
No,
of-
it's a composite material that we had ordered. It was shipped to us, and then we installed it, yes. Now, the neighbor to the east, that post is a wooden post. So we're approximately 2 inches away. So there's about a 1-inch gap, but we're trying to get as close as possible. So nothing can either come in or come out.
Okay. And the reason for that, again, is safety related to wild animals?
Safety for the not only his pet, but our pet as well, our anticipated pet that we're getting, a very small breed dog. And the hardship is, of course, its safety and just the security of not having it, any of the wildlife.
That's not exactly the zoning rule definition of hardship, but I'll figure that part out. Okay, I understand your request. Presumably your neighbor agrees.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else that you have to offer?
Is there anything else that you would like us to clarify? I mean, we've pleaded our case. It's 2 inches. We would have to remove the post and that entire section that we spend quite a bit of money on in order to secure secure the yard. It would have to be taken down if that's the case.
Okay. I have enough to make a decision. You know the process here. I'll make a decision about your case in the next couple of weeks, and then you'll have availability of that via email. You can stay in touch with our staff to figure out what's going on. And then it goes to the development committee and finally the full county board. So this won't be resolved until late in the month of April. My general concern that I have to wrangle with is that the need that you suggest has a certain lifespan to it. Variations run with the land and last forever, so I need to resolve that. I think
Yes,
I
sir.
know how to do that. All right,
Well, thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you.
And again, we're respectfully requesting this consideration.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Shed less than 10 feet from the west property line, approximately 2 feet, whereas it existed for at least 5 years. This is an extension. Well, this is not an extension. There was a previously approved zoning relief in 2015. This property is on an R3 zoning lot, 0.67 acres, serviced by well and sewer. Matter was published in the Daily Herald on February 27th. I have one exhibit, which is a combined survey site plan showing the shed in question, highlighted in yellow. And Mr. Wise is with us. Would you raise your hand and be sworn in, please?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what's the story?
Well, we had we had construction done back in 2015, I guess we put in a deck. At that time, and then it was noted that there was the structure, the shed that was on the property was not, had not been, was not formally, I guess, part of, had not been, whatever.
Yeah, it's in the wrong spot.
It's in the wrong spot. It was not, there was no permit for it. It had been there almost since, as long as I can.
How long have you lived at the property?
34 years. It'll be 34 years and,
So the shed is at least 34 years old?
I don't know if it's that old. I'm not sure if it was put in right before, or right after we got there.
So it's not less than,
It's less than 15, it's more than 15 years old. It's probably not, it's less.
what's the shed made out of?
Wood. And
What's the base,
I believe it's, the base,
floor? Is it a concrete pad?
no, it's not. It's on, I believe it's on, concrete, piling.
Yeah. Footings or pylons or whatever. And what do you keep in the shed?
Mainly, deck furniture and, the other supplies are gardening stuff.
So, were you here last time?
My wife was.
I didn't think I recognized you, but it's a long time for me.
Yeah, we don't look exactly alike. I'm Mark White.
I thought you identified yourself. You didn't identify yourself for the record?
I did for the record.
Oh, all
Right, but not to
Yeah.
you, personally.
Well, like, I'm a real official kind of guy.
Okay, that's great.
All right, well, you're getting close to time that you need to move this shed.
That's why we brought it up. I actually, I think it's, I think the petition was done initially in,
Do you have any pictures of the shed?
current.
Yeah.
And I also have architectural drawings that we had to go back and do. There's a whole process the first time, and the issue was raised about it, not meeting the zoning requirements. Want this, we already have
I
that.
already have, this is all I need. I'd
Oh,
like
okay,
to,
fine,
I'd like to see a picture of the shed.
sure. These three are currently done today.
Okay, let the record reflect that the petitioner has used his telephone to show me photographs of the shed, but I'd like you to somehow copy those and submit them to us.
Okay.
So, because we can't make an exhibit out of something that's on your phone, because it has to be in the file.
Okay.
So, we'll create exhibit number 2 or group exhibit 2, which are some number of photographs of the shed, which the petitioner will produce. From my inspection of the telephone photos, shed appears to be in reasonably good shape. Nonetheless, it is approximately 34, maybe more years old. So, that's all I need for now. You said what you keep in the shed. You don't have any other sheds on the property?
No permits. We have a Rubbermaid, a Suncrest shed that sits against on our back deck. That's probably about 4 feet
But it's
wide.
not on the survey because it's a portable thing?
It's portable. Everything else that is portable. We have another shed in the backyard.
Okay, is there any, and there's no utilities to this shed?
No, there's no utilities. It does have a light on the shed that was put in there for potential utilities, but we did not, it was not hooked up.
Okay. Well, you know the process. I'll make a decision in the next couple of weeks.
Okay,
And it goes to the development committee and then finally the full county board.
right.
So this will be resolved by April-ish. That assumes I can't do anything until you get these photos. So
Great.
if you want to stay on that schedule, try to get the photos.
That won't be a problem. I just have to, I'm not that computer savvy, but my wife will get that. I know I've been trying to, I just retired. And I've been calling around to try to get adult education to become much more confident with my.
Well, the jury is out as far as I'm concerned as to whether that is a worthwhile pursuit, but I'll leave that to
For
another.
me, it's frustrating.
Okay, all right, very good. We'll close the hearing and you'll get a decision.
Okay,
Thank you.
possibilities.